Hello, everyone. Welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, Bevon Squires, and today we're sponsored by Spirit Source Connection, where we believe that we are multidimensional, energetic beings. We have a mind, a body, and a soul, and we must address all of those components of who we are so that we can achieve homeostasis, so that we are balanced and aligned within our inner environment, right? So today, before we get started, I want to say if you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are surely welcome here. This is a safe place for you. And if you're returning, I want to say thank you so much for your love and support over the last few years with Willingness Wednesday. I certainly couldn't do this without your love and support. So thank you once again for allowing me to be your coach. Wow, what an honor that is. Okay, guys, well, I'm not going to keep you long, I promise. I promise. So at the beginning of this month, we started out with a series because you know I love my series. And so the series that we embarked on the first week of January 2024, right? All new material. I am so excited about being able to come here live and bring you all this wonderful information that I wasn't able to do last year because I was just building and growing and writing and was just so bogged down with so many projects on my plate. And I said, not this year. No. I'm coming back with all new material. I left you some stuff to take a look at, the emotional intelligence and the 4 agreements. I left you those. I also left you the spiritual laws of success by Deepak. So it wasn't like I just abandoned you. I love that information though, because you can go over it and over it and over it as many times as you want, and you're going to learn something new each time. You're going to sharpen your skills each time you go back through any of that information. So here we are now with some new stuff, and I'm just so excited about bringing this to you. So David Richo wrote a book, and it's called 5 Things That We Cannot Change. And so in this book, he talks about this asking God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And of course, if you know anything about the serenity prayer, that is the serenity prayer, or an excerpt of the serenity prayer. The actual prayer is so long, but that is like the meat and potatoes of the prayer, is help me, God, to accept the things that I cannot change, because there's so many things in life that we cannot change. And David Richo told us about 5 of them in his book. One of them is we have to accept that things were the way they were when we got here. We could not decide our social status. We could not decide our names. We didn't get the chance to pick our families, our traditions, any of that. That was already in place when we got here. That's quite disturbing in a way, isn't it? Then the other disturbing reality is people are not always fair or loyal. People are not always loyal. They will always disappoint you in some way. And of course, we don't want to believe that, especially about the people that we love the most. But they are human and they are fallible and they will disappoint us from time to time. So that's another thing that we need to accept. One of the other things that we need to accept is that life is not fair. Life is not fair. And that is something that is very disturbing, because we believe that everyone should have the same rights. Everyone should have equality. Everyone should be measured by the merit of who they are, not by the color of their skin, their gender, their sexual identity, their religion, lack of religion, any of those. We should never be judged upon those things as to who we are, right? Those things don't make us who we are. Those are things that we believe in, which we have a right to believe whatever we want. But the other thing that I want to let you know is that even though life is not fair, we can't choose things that were already in place when we got here. We also have to understand that things change. Nothing stays the same. And one of the things that I'm grateful for is that things do change, because what that means is that this too shall pass. Anytime you find yourself in a difficult situation or a situation that's causing you some angst, what I want you to know is that it's not going to last forever. That's one of the good things that we can accept, that things don't last always. But that has to do with the good things just as well as the things that we don't enjoy. Nothing is going to last forever. So tonight we're going to continue on this journey of the 5 things that we cannot change. And tonight's topic is talking about the things that we cannot, Today's topic is talking about people not being fair. Life not being fair, people not being fair, the rules not being fair, double standards all around. And so what we have to do is understand that in order to build resilience, I don't know what's wrong with me. In order to build resilience, there has to be some sort of friction. There has to be, that's just like when you are lifting weights. When you're lifting weights and you have to come down slowly, that is gravity. That is the friction of gravity that you're working against, and that's what's going to build the muscle. So anytime you have some gravity that you're working within, or some sort of adverse situation that you're working in, you're going to be building your muscles. Whether it's the muscle of forgiveness, because that's a great muscle to build, right? That's one of the ones we're going to talk about tonight. See, there was a situation that happened in my life back in July. I had a car accident. I didn't wake up that day thinking I was going to have a car accident and total my car. I had no idea while I was sitting there at that traffic light that a car was going to come and ram into the back of me. Now, I do have to let you know, while I was sitting there, God came to me and he showed me a vision of my car getting hit from the back. And I thought, well, 2 to 3 seconds later, there was the impact. And I thought, well, God, why would you tell me about the accident getting ready to happen and not give me time to change anything? What was that all about? And what he was able to show me is that he wanted me to know that he was with me in that situation. Not that there was anything I could do to change it. He was granting me what I need to be okay in that situation. Now, since then, of course, I have had to go to physical therapy for my shoulder. I have an injured right shoulder. I had an MRI for my neck. And you guys know I'm deathly claustrophobic due to some trauma that I experienced as a child. Not going into that. A whole nother series, whole nother book. It's called The Energy Harvest. Go grab it. But what I'm saying is, I had to go to physical therapy. Now I don't get to spend my money the way I want to. I have to spend my money on copays. Copays is where most of my money goes. I was looking at that yesterday and I thought, what is going on with my financial situation? I know I'm not frivolously spending, because back in FY22, which is fiscal year 22, that's my finance talk, FY. Back in 2022, I revamped my finances. I revamped the way that I looked at my finances. I created a budget and then began to adhere to that budget. So I know I'm not frivolously spending, and it dawned on me, all my money is going out to copays for all of the therapy that I have to have as a result of this situation that I could not control. I had a collision. Someone ran into the back of me, and that is not something that I can control. And now I can't control the state of my body, but I can take responsibility. I can take responsibility for the situation and move into positive action. And that's the thing that I want you to know. Even if you cannot change things, there is something that you can do that's going to help you get a better grasp, a better sense of acceptance of the situation. Now, for me, of course, I had to look at, okay, Benita, if you want to be angry about this, you can be angry for a short little moment. Because, see, we have to understand that the energy that we have inside of us, that we're generating inside of us based on our feelings, based on our emotions, based on our thoughts, that energy that we have in here that we're putting out there is going to come back. So if I want positive things to come back into my life, then I have to make peace with this situation. God, grant me the serenity to accept the fact that I had a car accident that I wasn't in control of. Help me to accept the fact that I have a body situation now that I cannot control. However, I can do the positive actions that lead to my healing. Yes, right? Thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to build muscles in areas that I wasn't able to build them in before. Now I get to be consciously aware of my thoughts. Okay, so I wake up and my body is aching. Instead of cursing that person that ran into the back of me, I can say, bless him, God. I can say, help me, bless him and help me. And that gives me a chance to actually gravitate towards some other feelings and some other energy, because feelings are energy. So I can then gravitate towards gratitude. That is one of the best. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that I spent all of that time on my body, strengthening my body, going to the gym, losing the weight, just doing all of the things I knew to do to strengthen my body. Because if my body was not in a good place going into that collision, I may have sustained greater injuries on the back end. So there's something that I can be grateful for, right? And so instead of finding things to be angry about, instead of allowing this situation to rent room in my mind and cause me to doubt the outcome, because see, in my mind, sometimes I want to go ahead and try to predict the outcome. And when I do that, I'm really shortchanging the experience because I have no idea what the outcome is going to be. However, in my meditation and in this moment, right? When I practice mindfulness, I can be right here in this moment. I can send loving, healing vibes to my body. I can send loving forgiveness vibes to the person who caused the accident. And I can be grateful that it wasn't any worse than it was. Now, of course, out of the whole situation, I got a brand new car. Of course I did, right? And of course, out of the situation, everything is going to end up just the way that it is meant to be in the end. But for right now, I'm staying in the moment as much as I can, because anytime we start looking forward to the future, to the outcome, sometimes we have a tendency to paint a bleak picture. I do not want to paint a bleak picture. I want to see me jumping up and doing cartwheels. Maybe not cartwheels. Maybe not those cartwheels, but I definitely want to see myself stepping high and feeling good, got my swag on and my heels, things that I can't really do right now because my body needs to heal. But I see myself healed. I see myself smiling. I see myself skipping and enjoying life the way that I did prior to July the 9th. And so I'm really excited about being able to go through this situation that I cannot change. I must accept where I am. And of course, it has not been an easy thing to accept because my life is basically turned upside down in so many ways. But I am hopeful and I am grateful that God was with me at the time of this accident and that he is seeing me through all the way until the end, and that end will be the greatest outcome that there could be for me and everyone else that is involved. And I'm just so grateful for that. All right, guys, I told you I wasn't going to keep you long. So as we wrap this up tonight, I just want to remind you that yes, there are going to be situations that you cannot change. There are going to be situations that you must accept. But I'm telling you that you can. Anytime you feel like you cannot accept a situation for what it is, it's your ego. It's your ego trying to take control. It's your ego that's bruised and doesn't want to change, doesn't want things to be any differently. But that doesn't mean that you can't whip that ego into shape. Let your spirit come forth and guide you through the situation so that your ego cannot shortchange you and shortchange the muscles that you're able to build out of the situation. Nothing happens by accident. Everything that happens in your life is there for a reason. And if you don't understand the reason, that would be a great time to pray and meditate and ask God to show you what you need to see, tell you what you need to hear, and then connect you to those you need to be connected to for your situation, for the total great outcome of your situation. All right, guys, I'm telling you, this was so excellent. I love today's message, especially because I was able to apply it to a situation that was going on in my life. And with no further ado, I'm going to say thank you so much for allowing me to be your coach. Thank you for spending this time with me. I am going to see you next week. But until then, I'm going to be praying for you. I'm going to pray and ask God to bring that thing that you're manifesting right to you sooner than later. Because of course we want those things now, right? Well, I tell you what, it takes time to build a magnificent dream. It takes time to manifest all of that wonderful abundance into your life. So don't give up. Keep up the faith and just make sure that you're taking positive action one step in front of the other until you actually receive that thing that you're manifesting for. All right, guys, this is it for me. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your coach, and I will see you again next week. Oh, no, wait. If you want to reach me, I have to tell you how you're going to reach me. If you want to reach me, you can dial 317-828-3642, or you can dial me by email at b.vonsquires@gmail.com. And then, of course, there's the website, www.spiritsourceconnection.com. There you go, guys. You know how to reach me if you need me, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next week. And I think that's it. I love you. Bye-bye.